I should have been happy. By this time, I had put some 30-odd years in the study of this quest. And so we go to the next chapter, the problems of knowledge. What was wrong? What was wrong? I thought about it in my better days. What was wrong? First, I could see the traps and the pitfalls in my life. I stepped over them or walked around them. As I did so, other people began to see that I was doing something different. I was becoming different. If I continued this change, would I be able to communicate what I'd already found, much less what I was now discovering? Would I get so far away that I couldn't communicate back to others? As I said, I was 30 years into this study. Would that make me unable to relate? As it was, I could hardly watch TV, go to parties, entertain, read the trivia and papers, or just discuss what everybody else was talking about. They didn't understand what was happening to them, and I did. They didn't understand why their children had to die. I did. They didn't understand why they didn't make any difference who was president. I did. They didn't understand the difference between what a person put out in front for you to see and what a person really was. I did. They didn't understand how much of their life was controlled and manipulated. I did. How could I just sit there and watch all this happen and not say something? And what on earth could I say that would make any sense to those who were bombarded daily with the lies that said otherwise? That was the first problem, hermit. You get to be a hermit. You can't relate. You can't. Somebody says, "Oh, my kid's got really good grades in school," and you want to say, "So what?" You can't do that. They lock you up. I don't know if they still lock people up, but anyway, you're not invited back to the party. You're not invited back to the party. The second problem was a little more subtle. I could see that I was learning and growing. I could see more and more from a cosmic point of view. I was even able to focus my life, thus living out much of the trivia. The problem was that my monkey was miserable. So what if my soul was gaining ground by leaps and bounds? My monkey was stuck here, where every second was an eternity. I had learned to be a good little monkey, with only others' worries and cares to work with. I was doing fine from a cosmic point of view. But what about the monkey? Where was his joy, his bliss? Everyone else seemed to be doing fine. They even kindly pointed out at every turn how stupid I was to care about others and be so concerned about that philosophical stuff. Were they right? Was it just one big series of parties, one contest to see who could get the most toys, to be judged the best because you could remember the most trivia, because you made the most money, because you had the biggest house? Didn't all those things go away with time? Didn't you have to come to the judgment sooner or later? And if it was so right, then why wasn't I happy? They seemed to be. Why wasn't I happy? I mean, at that point in time, I had a lot of knowledge, but they were happy. My soul might have been happy. I didn't have a lot of contact with my soul, couldn't ask. But my monkey was miserable. The human part of me was miserable. I mean, miserable. Depression. Things in my life had kind of fallen apart. And they kindly mentioned the fact that if I was so right and I had so much understanding, then, comparing them to me, they'd take them. And I wasn't so sure that they weren't right. So I went on. So back to the original premise. I wanted to control my life. I also wanted to know what the true purpose of life here on earth was. I guess I also wanted my monkey to be as content as possible as I worked on the task set before me. I wanted something for the monkey. Looking through those eyes, the eyes of somebody who knew a lot but was not real happy because the monkey wasn't happy. Looking through those eyes, I looked at those who laughed at me and all those that thought they were doing something that in some way was controlling their life. They set goals and worked to accomplish those goals. Some seemed to get there, and others just quit and settled. Those who quit gave in to the concept that they had no control over their life and just complained about the fate that life dealt them. Those that succeeded were using the technique of personal power and didn't even know it. I could see all that. I could also see a growing surge in the New Age group to find the power that would help them gain that which they were looking for. They didn't want to use the old methods of going to school and getting a good job. They had done that and it didn't work. In truth, that group had done everything they were told, and now we're beginning to see through the lies themselves. And in brackets I say, I have great hopes for this group if they can get away from the experts in the New Age and look within. And I do. They've done everything they were told. They began to realize that something was wrong. The nice house, the 2 cars, the garage, the 2.5 kids, all perfect. And they did it. And then they look at their life and say, there's something missing. They were lied to. And they see it. And they're looking. They're examining. If they can get away from the supposed experts in each field and get to the truth, look within, maybe they'll make some progress yet. And so I go on. Anyway, in the end, we have 2 groups. Those who have given up the right to control and those who are looking for the control. I suspect that the first group would soon join the second group and see a way that it will work for them. So really, everybody's looking for a way to control their life. So then we have, or as I said, that leaves us with the second group, with which we divide into those who just want to control and those who want to find a right path of choice through this mess they call life. For those who want control of others and total dominion over their life, lots of luck. For the rest, let's take a look, read on, see what I have to say. If you're into dominion and control, go ahead. I know where it leads in so many ways. Go ahead, do what you want to do. For those of you who really would like to find a right path of choice and get through all this garbage that we have to go through, read on. And so I go on. It is obvious that you will need help if you're going to move in that direction at all. You, the monkey, just don't know enough to make the moves on your own. So what help? White magic? Black? Those are options, but in the end you're using the principles of personal power or are calling on other powers to help. I've already discussed the pitfalls of personal power. So that leaves us with the calling of other powers as an option. Would you use your crystal to amplify the calling of the earth powers? I'll tell you that the earth powers don't give a damn about your problem. Still, they will help you on occasion just to see you crash and burn in the end. Well, how about those on the other side, those in the fourth? As it was so painfully made clear to me, I will also give to you. Go out on the street and stop the first person you meet. Ask him or her to help you gain control of your life. And if you think about that, you're going to say, no way. And so I said, why not? Well, your chance of finding the kind of help you seek are about the same up there. The only difference between most of those from the fourth and the person on the street is that those in the fourth have access to information on your past and future. The problems created is that you can't believe anyone but a great soul could have that information about your personal life. Therefore, if you make contact with someone or something from the fourth, they have that information and you just know they are a great soul. Mistake. After realizing that, the question becomes, how many contacts must you make before you find that great soul that would help you? How would you know if he presented himself that he was who he presented himself to be? And obviously, would he help you if you did contact him? In other words, how do you know if it is a great soul? How many souls do you have to talk to before you find this great teacher or guide? How would you know if he was what he said he was, or she? And if he was what he said he was, or she said what she said she was, would she or he help you? I said you could try, but I reject that idea as too risky. And in brackets, besides, aren't we trying to get out by making our own right decisions? How can someone or something make our decisions for us and give us the right answers? Defeat the intent or the purpose of karma? Wouldn't that defeat the idea that you have the power to choose? In other words, if you're taking a test to find out where you are and somebody's giving you the answers, wouldn't that be a temptation if they wanted to keep you here to give you the wrong answer or the answers to the minion? Is that what's happening? So then, by the way, that's out. Seeking your teacher guide, spirit guide out there in the outer realms of the fourth, forget it.